Hi everyone. So welcome back to my channel. Sorry about last week. I cancelled last week, so I don't know if you guys were able to see like the thing I put in the discussion on my page. Last week on the Sunday I had my staff conference, which I needed to go to, and I didn't know if I'd have internet. And I was originally going to do it on the Saturday before that, but I needed, for my own mental health, I had to cancel that, because I'd basically be working 6 days that week. And the week before that, I put the wrong time on Streamyard. I put 12 instead of 1 on my end. I did that at 4 a.m, so it didn't end up that great. Okay, let's see. Penumbra. Hello, lovely. Apologies, I'm about to lose internet power due to a bad storm. Be blessed and happy writing. Thank you. That's all right. You stay safe. Okay. So I am probably going to do about 3 to 4 writing sprints. Really depends on how it goes and how I feel. I have not written for 2 weeks anything besides paperwork, which is an issue. Considering I originally wanted to get Unspoken, which is the sequel but with a different POV character. I wanted to get that out this year. We're halfway through the year. I still haven't finished the first draft, so it's probably not going to come out this year. It's probably going to come out probably start of next year. Hopefully. Hopefully I can get this first draft done. I really want it done. I should have a little bit more time this week because we've actually gone back into lockdown. So Melbourne's back into lockdown for like 7 days at this stage. So the lockdown ends on Thursday at this stage. It might be extended, it might not. If it's not extended, great. I can go back to teaching my students on campus. If it is extended, I've got to then plan for everything else to be online, especially the assessments. I'm teaching the senior level and they have to be authenticated. Basically, I have to prove that it's theirs. I've still got to buy the plagiarism credits from Pro Writing Aid, so I can literally scan my students' work when they upload it to make sure that it's their work, to authenticate it. Even then, it's their draft. I basically have to run their draft through, scan it. If there's above 30% plagiarism stuff, then I'm going to give it a note. Hey, you might want to rewrite this stuff because this is what your plagiarism checker looked like. Yeah, but that's a pain. It's a pain to authenticate this. So there's that. Plus, I've got all the lessons and they're on the exact same timetable that they are on at school. So Mondays, my hell days, I've got 5 classes, and technically it's 6 with home group, but we're not running home group, which is a plus. So we got 5 classes on the Monday and then on the Wednesday, and it's a pain. Luckily, we don't have to run it for the whole session, so that's a plus. Anyway, all right. Let's get started with the writing sprints. Okay, so first writing sprint. I'm probably going to do it for... Probably going to do it for about 20 minutes. It's going to take me that long to read through it and maybe start writing some dot points. I'm pretty sure I'm at the end, towards the end of the chapter 8. towards the end of chapter 8, which means I've then got to split it, create chapter 8B, so that I know when I finish my first draft to rejig it and change all the chapter names. Like, so that's chapter 8B becomes chapter 9 and all that. But I'm not doing that, changing it now, because I've got like 50 chapters I need to do. I'll do that at the end. And so I've got, and then chapter 8B is going to be more about the sisters' relationship. So I don't know how this book is going to end up longer than my first one, because as I'm writing, I'm like, ooh, what happens if the sisters see this? Or feel like I've got to build in the sisters' relationship, because I missed it. Because I think I've mentioned you are introduced to the sisters pretty briefly in the first book. And then in this book, then one of them is, there's a connection or contact between the two in relatively a lot of detail. But now I've got to get the other two sisters, I've got to get their personalities across in a shorter period of time so that it sets up the next book. Because there'll be a book for each sister's POV. So Mariah was the first one. She was the youngest, and her POV was the first book. And that was Little Mermaid, basically, I don't know, Little Mermaid kind of meets Hunger Games, sort of. I mean, it's basically take down the king type story. Then there's this one with Cassiopeia, and then the male POV. I'm not revealing who it is yet. And basically, at this stage, it's both POVs, the male and the female POV. When I send it to a developmental editor and they think, hey, it would work better if each POV was their own separate book, then I would have basically the bulk of one book done and then pretty much the other one, because Cassiopeia's POV is the biggest POV. Hers, I would just need to add a couple of chapters maybe to clear out the backstory a bit, or to clear out the character arc a bit, and then I can have the male POV as a separate, shorter book, so you can see his point of view throughout the story. Depends how the developmental editor thinks of it. But at this stage, it's 2 POVs, but it may end up splitting into 2 books. If it splits into 2 books, it means I can release one in one date and one in the other, which can be pretty helpful. And I think his POV is interesting as well. I like both of their POVs, but I find his quite a bit interesting because I haven't written anything about the character before these POVs, and his story is a bit darker. But I think the story would work better with both POVs in them. Then you have a POV, a book from Amira. She's basically the second oldest. She's the one after Cassiopeia. Amira, her POV, I think hers, the story is more going to be like Snow White. Either Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel. Snow White or Sleeping Beauty, one of the two. And I'm not planning on having any love interest in that one at this stage. It may change, may not. Then I've got the one from Davita's point of view. That one I'm planning on having a love interest. It may be a tragedy, it may not. It really depends on how I feel when I'm writing it. And then I'm planning for like a series of short stories in the same universe. Yeah. So I've got a big series planned. This one I'm writing, I've planned quite a bit. Like literally, I know roughly what happens in every chapter. As soon as I finish this, I'm going to write the first draft for the next one. But I'm going to try. All I know for the next one is just a rough story. So maybe I'd have better luck writing that from scratch without doing any detailed planning. Who knows? All right, so let's get started. Let's do 20 minutes. And starting now. All right. How did you guys go? All right. So I still haven't finished reading through the chapter that I'm on. Basically, all I've done this writing sprint, is read through what I've written and make little minor edits, particularly grammar, tenses, missed words. I miss when I'm writing. I might have the whole sentence here, and so the full sentence or the full paragraph might be in my brain. All the words and everything, they need to be in the order they need to be in, might be in here. But when I'm typing, I will think I've written a word, but I haven't. And I'll just go on to the next word and the next word and then skip another word. So sorry. Sorry, that was my brother. And like my brain will skip words, and I will have to read through it and go over it and to see whether or not the word I've missed actually needs to be in there. And sometimes what will happen is when I'm rereading my work, especially if it's recent, I'll be rereading it and go, my brain will automatically fill in the word that's supposed to be there, and then I'll continue reading. So literally, I'll just skip over the word that's missing, which is a pain, but literally something my brain does. Oh, I still haven't read American Dirt. I've got the whole book list. I planned on reading it last week, but staff conference didn't end up reading it. I'll probably end up doing a discussion video later on where I just talk about a particular issue with writing and then get you guys to respond. Anyway, I'll do another sprint, probably 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll probably do one 15-minute and then a 10-minute sprint. And then I'll probably just end it there. Actually not. You know what? I'll do two 10-minute sprints. That way I've gone for pretty much an hour. Yeah, pretty much an hour. Okay. All right. Let's start now. All right. So I just had to finish that last sentence that I was writing. So hi Devon. Hi, Quiet Adventurer. You're just reading the cemetery voice. Cool. All right. So I have, let's see how many words I wrote. I've wrote 72 words. This is not just for this writing session, this is for today. I have spent pretty much the last writing sprint, which is 20 minutes. I basically spent the entire time rereading the chapter, which is very long, and editing and tweaking things like sentences, tenses, so it's all the same. Because what happens is when I'm writing, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but when I'm writing, I could have the whole sentence in here, exactly how it's supposed to be written out and how it's supposed to sound. And when I type it, I will skip a word thinking I've already written it, which means that the whole sentence is now off. And then if I reread it, particularly in the same day, my brain will automatically fill in the missing word, and I'll just keep on moving on and reading. So it's a pain. Editing my stuff is a pain. How'd you guys go? Devon, how'd you go with the writing sprint? You arrived late and ate a banana. That's fine. Just read a few pages. That's cool. Okay. I'm probably going to do one more sprint. Probably 15 minutes. Because then I'm going to go get lunch. Because it's nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. And it's a nice day. What's really crap is that we're now back in lockdown, which sucks. So for a full week, so until Thursday, I've got to do online lessons, which is going to be a pain. I don't even know if half my students are going to turn up. So I can't go through anything substantial with them. They've just missed a week, and now they've had to cancel exams. So, yeah. Only good thing is with the lockdown, because I won't be getting any extras. That's the good thing. I won't be having any extras where I have to cover a person's class, which is good, which means I get all my free sessions. Which means that when my day is done, I can work on my story. I'll probably end up doing a live. I'll probably end up doing a live stream Thursday, Australian time at 1:30, because that's my lunch break, and I don't have anything after that on a Thursday. Same thing with a Tuesday, actually. I don't have anything after 1 o'clock my time. So it'd be about 11 o'clock your time. Yeah. So it'd be about 11 o'clock your time when I've got free time. So I'll probably end up doing a 1 hour sprint or something, 1 hour live stream. Depends on how I feel. Whether or not my kids drove me insane. And when I say my kids, I mean my students. I don't have kids. I have students. Anyway. I just graduated, so I'm on my summer vacay at the moment. I know that my school is doing half and half. Oh yeah, because So you're probably what, US, Canada? US or Canada? They're doing half on site, half online. The area has been on lockdown since Easter weekend. Oh my god, you're still on lockdown? Have they at least eased the restrictions? US. Cool. Florida is strange at the moment. Yeah. Are they rolling out the vaccines in Florida? Yeah, I got both early, but I'm pretty sure everyone can get it now, yeah. Oh, that's good. In Australia, or at least here in Victoria, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all of Australia, but Victoria particularly, people over 40 can get the vaccine. Originally, it was over 50. Now it's over 40. And anyone younger has to wait until the other vaccine. So people over 40 get the have to get one particular vaccine, and then anyone under 40 will, unless they've got a medical condition, have to wait. Problem is, the vaccine we currently have has been giving people below 50 blood clots in the brain. I don't know if that's the AstraZeneca one. I don't know if there's something wrong with the particular batch that we're getting, but people have been developing blood clots if they're younger than a certain age. So it's kind of a worry. They won't start easing restrictions until 60% of the province is vaccinated. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Jeez. Like 60%. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be different each state and each country, really. Like we in Melbourne, they got rid of, so we've been in lockdown. Melbourne has had multiple lockdowns. Like we basically spent, yeah, because you're in Canada. Victoria basically had 2 lockdowns. We had the first one, which was from end of term 1. So end of term 1, pretty much term 2, which was, so end of term 1, which was probably Easter, just before Easter, to this last year to around May-ish, around this time of year. And then we came back for like 2 weeks on site, and then the numbers went up, and we had to go back into lockdown, and then we didn't come back until September. We weren't back on site until September, and even then they were easing it in. And there was a lockdown again this year, short one. But because they ease when the numbers are 0 for like 2 weeks, they ease the restrictions to get rid of them actually. Beyond keeping a 1.5 meter distance between each other, beyond that, it's literally just no restrictions. And people do stupid stuff. Crap. Thing is, this current lockdown wasn't because of someone in Victoria. we've got this lockdown isn't because of someone in Victoria. It's because someone from South Australia, at least from what I've been able to read on the news, someone from South Australia, next state over, came with the virus to Victoria and left before we were able to trace it to them. So it was, and now they've shut the borders to us when it was someone from their state that came with the virus and infected other people. I just went to Sydney just before everything happened. Kind of scary. I hope things will get better everywhere. Yeah, I hope so too. It's pain. We normally go, my family and I normally go on holiday once a year. Generally a pretty big holiday, like go overseas, go interstate, right? We were supposed to go to Japan last year. Lost like a lot of the money for it. I think we got less than half the money back for the stuff for Japan. Booked another trip for Cairns because they're like, okay, at least it's inside Australia. We can speak the language. We're probably not going to get, there's probably not going to be like shutdowns between the borders because the situation wasn't that bad. They cancelled that. And we still haven't got our money back for it. This was last year. The agency who's got hold of our money won't talk to us. And like, we can't go interstate. We can't plan to go interstate at this stage because we don't know what's going to happen. Literally, they shut the borders without warning and people lose money. I know people who were supposed to go to Sydney in a couple of weeks or go to Queensland in a couple of weeks, and they're in limbo because I don't know if they're going to be able to go there, and I don't know if we'll be able to travel at all if we don't have the vaccine. Like, some of the states are thinking of making people to have a vaccine passport in between the states, which technically speaking goes against our constitution. Free movement between states. Technically, it's not a state of emergency. It gets a bit complicated, but still, it definitely sucks. Definitely sucks. Yeah, Australia is beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Pretty much every state has something that is good, except South Australia. No, pretty much every state has something really nice. South Australia's got a lot of vineyards, wineries, and picturesque locations. Melbourne has a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of stuff and a lot of places that are pretty good. Sydney's the same too. Queensland's really nice. I haven't been to Cairns yet. I've got to go to Cairns. The only places I haven't been yet, actually no, the only state or technically territory I haven't been to in Australia is the Northern Territory. I want to go see Uluru or Ayers Rock. That's the only place that's the only territorial state in Australia that I haven't been to. I've been to all the others. I still want to go to Cairns though. Yeah, I know. Like even just traveling interstate, I'd be happy. Like Australia's got like the Trans-Tasman bubble with New Zealand. So if we've got 0 cases like across all of Australia, we can go to New Zealand because they've got no cases. It's only between here and New Zealand, which is good. It's still technically interstate. We were still going in like overseas. Not that much difference. There's only a 2-hour difference between us. But yeah. It's just, I want to go travel. I really do. Planning on getting a job and saving for a trip. Yep. Yep. I hope you're able to save what you need to go on that trip, and I hope nothing happens to cancel it because it's a pain getting money back for all this stuff. It's really a pain. Yeah. I think I accidentally offended someone from Sydney once. Oops. How'd you accidentally offend someone from Sydney? You didn't say they were from Melbourne, did you? Oh my God. Some people just won't get vaccinated. Yeah, it's the same here in Australia, actually. I mean, I've got a lot of allergies. Like, I've got a list of 20 things I'm allergic to with varying degrees of reactions, including anaphylaxis. And the thing is, some needles contain traces of latex, which is one of the things I'm allergic to. So I actually need to speak with my doctor to find out if it's actually safe for me to take with all my allergies. If it is safe, I'll get it. But I need to actually speak with my doctor about it before I even take it. Because until I know it's safe, I'm not going to take something that hasn't been tested a lot. Yeah. I said the opera house looks like broken eggshells. Yep, I would actually agree with you. I would agree with you. It does. It looks weird. It does look like broken eggshells. Oh my God. Yeah, it's true. So, that's not, that is not a national icon. Well, it's not something that represents a state for me because I'm from Melbourne. I'm from a completely different state. So we make fun of Sydney. Melbourne makes fun of Sydney. We've got a bit of a rivalry going on. In fact, we competed for the capital city. And then they're just like, nope, we're just going to create another territory right in the smack bang middle of both states. That way we won't have any arguments. Literally, that's why they decided to make Canberra. From conspiracy theories and health issues. But I understand if they can't actually take it. Yeah. I've got family in America as well. New Jersey. I don't know how they're going to do the Olympics. I have no idea. I don't know. There's a couple of people who've were supposed to go to the Olympics, but already have the virus. So I don't know. They're probably going to have to cancel it because they're probably going to have to cancel or postpone it until like everyone's got the vaccine or majority of the world is vaccinated. And yeah, I honestly don't see how it's going to run. I doubt it's going to be able to run with crowds. It may be able to run with just crowds from people in Tokyo. But I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, Tokyo is probably just going to let in just the athletes, and that's it. Athletes and people doing the work for the Olympics. But I doubt they're going to let anyone internationally in other than those, and they're going to probably be strict quarantine. But they're going to lose money like that, so they're probably better off just postponing it indefinitely until the situation is pretty much dealt with and like safe with everyone having the vaccine. They're better off postponing it. That way they can get the money back that they've spent on everything. Yeah, they probably are. If I'm honest, they probably are going to do a lockdown before. I don't know. Tokyo's lost a lot of money. The Olympics was actually supposed to be because they had I think they had the rugby. They basically had the rugby tournament before the I don't know, a couple of months before this thing happened, but they will have lost quite a bit of money. Tokyo would have lost billions because a lot of people this time of year are going to Tokyo. Well, we're earlier in the year for the cherry blossoms, but they've also got other things that are going on at the same time that people have been going for, like the skiing and everything. So they've lost a lot of money when it comes to tourism. Like, I don't know how much of their economy is tourism, but they've lost a lot. And if they go ahead with the Olympics as is, they're not going to make a lot of money. Anyway. Okay. Alright. I'm going to do a 10-minute writing sprint. I've got to hope. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it no matter what. Yeah, they probably are, if I'm honest. Because they want to actually get some attention in the media that's positive. But if they can't go ahead and guarantee the safety of their own people, especially if you've got people coming from countries with the more severe virus, like, for example, Brazil. Brazil has their own, the coronavirus has actually mutated in Brazil, and it's deadlier. It's a lot deadlier than the original COVID. India have got their own strain that's deadlier. South Africa, they have their own strain, which is more infectious and I think deadlier as well. England, same thing. Australia, apparently it started to mutate in Australia, in Victoria during the second wave, but the quick lockdown actually was able to get rid of that strain without it spreading to the rest of the community. But I don't know. It depends. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a 10-minute writing sprint. This is going to be my last sprint because I'm starting to get hungry and I need to go get lunch for everyone. All right. All right. Let's start now. All right, I'll just mute myself that way. I was just finishing what I was writing. There. Okay, how much did I get in that 10 minutes? Oh, okay. 233 words. That's actually pretty good. A lot of that is actually dialogue. A lot of my chapter is actually dialogue. It's very dialogue heavy. So 233 words. Pretty good. Hello, Laura. Welcome back. Welcome. Yeah, I'm nearly finished with this. I'm literally just about to end this scene and go on to the next chapter. Literally this close. All the character has to do is basically text the person that she might end up going on a date with, and basically just let him know. Yeah. 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 They are very talkative. Considering these two characters have gone through similar situations, similar traumatic events. One of them actually experienced was actually the main POV character, was forced into an arranged marriage, abused, basically kept trapped and literally silenced through magic. And that's the oldest sister. The youngest sister nearly got into the same situation. It nearly happened to her, only her dad actually intervened and tried to basically help her take down. It's connected to the first book. So they are literally just, because they haven't really had a relationship, and they're literally just realizing how similar they are. And one of the sisters is realizing, the youngest is realizing, I could have been her. I could have become her, and basically realizing that she is actually very lucky. And it's just like them just blurting out and talking with each other about their issues, and them actually properly having a conversation about what their issues are, and starting to address some of the things that actually set them on edge, so about each other. So it's very, very talkative. I mean, there's bits in here where the characters are thinking about something, or thinking about their emotions and how they're connected to the other character and all that sort of stuff. And there's stuff, a bit of action, but like the overall majority of this, I'm trying to see how many pages this is. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages. That's how long this is, and like 3/4 of it is dialogue. So they're very, very talkative. It's fun though, like, so just to see their interactions, it's fun, but it's very dialogue heavy. Hopefully, I'm in the next chapter is more reaction, because the characters are going to a place. All 4 sisters are going to a place that they don't know, because they're going. The older sister wants to go with the person who's basically asked them out, to go to this place, but she's never been to the place, and she doesn't know how she'd react. She doesn't know how she would react to the noise, the crowds, from the amusement park. So the sisters are just going to go together to that place, so she can see whether or not and if anything will trigger her. Basically, yeah, that chapter is basically a screenplay, because it's literally back and forth dialogue with a bit of action in between. It's really like, and the funny thing is, I'm teaching creative writing to my year 8s in English, and because the other English team are like, to the kids, or told me to tell the kids, like, don't put too much dialogue in because they're writing a short story. And I'm just like, I'm telling them not to do too much dialogue, and then I've got this chapter that's majority of it's dialogue. It's just like, oh my god. And like the fact that my characters have trauma, like severe trauma that they're dealing with, and what the characters that some of the kids are writing, because they're writing as a response to Hatchet and basically doing like what happens after the book Hatchet by Gary Paulson. And one of the kids like, oh, the kid's traumatized, blah blah blah, and I'm like, the kid trauma isn't, because they're writing their plan where they had to identify personality traits and flaws and stuff, and they put trauma as a flaw. And I'm like, that's not a flaw. That's something a person experiences. Like a flaw would be they refuse to deal with their trauma because they think if they push it away, it will go away and it will no longer affect them. The flaw would be them, as a result of them pushing their trauma away, they can't manage or control their anger, to the point where they accidentally stab someone with a fork because the person comes up behind them unexpectedly. Which is a scene that I'm writing in one of the in what basically is the scene from this, and they're like the student's like, I thought you wrote children's books. I'm like, no, it's for teenagers. But still, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's weird because I'm teaching them creative writing, and then I've got this, and I'm basically doing the opposite of some of the stuff I said. But oh my god, like, dialogue tags. My students, because a lot of the time they're taught in English, dialogue tags use different ones, like whispered, shout, screamed, whatever, right? They're literally taught that in English. And I could hear the other classes saying, oh yeah, use different dialogue tags, don't repeat the same dialogue tags. And I'm like, just use said. Use it the once. You've got two characters in the scene. Use it once, say who's talking once, make the two characters speak differently. That's it. Just back and forth. You don't have to use dialogue tags. And they're looking at me like, what? I don't know. It's fun, but it's also weird because I'm also doing it, and I'm doing the opposite of what I'm telling them. Anyway, how'd you guys go? Okay, Laura, I'm still working on a scene I've been working on for a few days. All right, cool. You did social media things? Yep, that's cool. Quiet Adventurer, how'd you go? Laura, I found a plot hole and it's been a few days just staring at my outline. Yeah, that's kind of what happens with me. You could, like, is there something like missing in the outline, or because if there's something missing in the outline that you think has caused the plot hole, you can go back and add that or make a note of it and then go back later and just skip the plot hole, just make a note of the plot hole, where it is, what it is, and what you think you might need to do to change it, and then just push on. Especially if you think that particular plot hole's is not going to really impact much. Or you can make a note. So from that point on, you write as if you fix the plot hole. If you get what I mean. Anyway. All right. I have a magical event that affects two characters differently, and I need to be sure I don't contradict anything and really explain why they're reacting differently. Okay. I would probably make a note of how they react differently and why. I'll probably make a note of it. Because is that what is happening in the scene that you're stuck on? Because if that's what's happening in the scene, you could do a short scene card. I know, what is it? What was the character person's name again? Abby Emmons has got things like for scene cards, where you can go, the plot, the character, and you go, okay, what happens? Why? Okay. I just make a scene card for each character, probably, and just write, okay, event, what it is, reasoning, what effect one on whoever the character is, what happens to them, why, and then write the other, what happens to them, why. That way you have that with you when you're writing the scene, and you can, when you finish writing the scene, you can go back and check, okay, did I explain this? Did I explain this? Did I show this? Did I show this? And did I explain why they've reacted differently? So that way you have something to refer back to. That might help. It could help because you can use that as a check, and that way you can just progress forward, and then you have something there that you can use to edit it later. That way you're not stuck on the one thing. That's a good idea, and I'll get answers as I write since this is still draft one. Yeah, because you might change your mind later. Yeah, so actually I've got I'll show you the thing, how they might look like. Hold on. So when I did my novel, I got index cards, different colors, and each color represented a thing. So character was pink, plot was blue, the spells were green, because I had to create my own spells, and then the yellow was like themes, I think. And basically what I would do for like the plot, right, I would have a thing where I'd have, okay, this is what the chapter is, this is what the purpose is, what arc is in there, what if there's romance in that scene, whatever. But for example, I would have, I'll just show you the prologue. I put down who was the POV, what's the plot point, the hook, and then the key event and what it leads to. And you can do the same thing for your scene, and you can go, okay, this is what the plot, this is the main plot thing, this is what I want to get out of it, this is what is going to hook the person in if you want to do that. And the key event, okay, for person one, this is how this event will affect them, this is how it affects person two. So that's something, and these index cards are pretty easy to get. You can get, I mean, depends on where you live, but you can get it from any sort of office supply chain. You can get them for like, I mean, in Australia, I got a packet of 100, basically a whole box for like $5. And it's just something you can do. I did mine for Voiceless, where I had literally, I also created like connection, like all the details about the character, any handicaps they had, flaws, personality, connections to other people, character webs. I went full on with this. But you can literally just do that for the scene you're stuck with, and that way you have it as a reference. So, and besides, by the time you get to draft 2, or by the time you get to developmental editing, your story, chances are, it's going to be a bit different than what you originally wrote. Because for Voiceless, like if you were to compare my draft 1 to 3, this is before I did developmental editing. This was like minor surface editing to clean it up. So it was decent when I handed it to a developmental editor. I did minor developmental editing. I didn't go into depth because I didn't recognize the stuff. If you compare the first 1 to 3 drafts with the end result, it's completely different. Because I went back and I changed things, added things. Yeah, that's all right. I hope it helps. Like, it's just a tool that you can use when you're editing. If there's like a key scene, write a little scene card, and you can use that as a reference. So when you go back, okay, did I achieve what I wanted to in that scene? Yes or no? And you can, when you give it to a beta reader or someone else to read it, you can go, okay, could you give me, like, look, if you want them to look at a particular scene, you can go ask them to give you feedback whether or not that scene works, what doesn't work. Yeah. Anyway, I really hope it helps. Anyway. So I'm probably going to end this now. That was the last sprint I did. I am probably going to do, because I'm now in lockdown, and means no extras. Yay! That means I'll probably end up doing a live stream, probably on the Thursday around lunchtime officially. So probably around this time-ish. So it's probably about 11:30 US Canada time. It'll probably just be a short, maybe 1 hour live stream. I'll probably do that Thursday. This is Australian time, so probably Wednesday, 11 p.m. ish, or Tuesday my time, which is probably Monday, for Monday 11 p.m. ish your time. Oh yeah, Wednesday night for Thursday. So Thursday here would be Wednesday night for you guys, and then Tuesday afternoon here would be Monday night for you guys. Yeah, so I'll probably do those. I'll probably do them. I'll probably do it Tuesday Tuesday my time or Thursday my time. Really depends how I feel. Yeah. So it'd be Monday and Wednesday for you guys. Yeah, it really depends. I want to get some more writing done, and considering I won't be getting any extras, I can actually do this. Yeah, that's all right. Do you live roughly in the same sort of time zone? Okay. Cool. So it'd be roughly the same time. It'd be a couple of hours difference, maybe. All right. That's pretty much it. Okay. So it's roughly the exact same time then. So you're about an hour. So it's about an hour difference between you and about you and Devon, I think. It's about 1 2 hour difference between you guys. Roughly. So it'd still be at night for you guys. It'd still be at night for you, Laura. Yeah. Well, that's it for today. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a break. It's now 1:40. I am starving. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. I'll see you guys next week. I'll let you guys. Hopefully, I can let you guys know in advance which day I'm doing it on, or if I'm doing both. If not, it should pop up on your. If you've subscribed, it should pop up on your notifications. Yeah, that's all right. All right. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for joining us. You have a nice night, Devon. Get some sleep. Okay. All right. Bye.